Joining me now as well, and Chris, you stand by too, because I want to continue to talk with you, is Charles Payne here in studio, host of Making Money with Charles Payne. All right, I want to first of all talk about what the Democrats have done, because they have scared the bejesus out of a lot of Americans and rural Americans, basically saying millions of people, tens of millions of people are going to lose their insurance. People are going to die. You know, I got the CBO report right here. It's 49 pages long, and I read it. I don't know if the American people have read it.
Sure.
But I want to tell you something that it says, because it talks about the millions of people that potentially will be uninsured under the GOP plan. And according to this, it is estimated that in 2018, 15 million more people would be uninsured under this legislation than under the current law. Primarily, and I want to emphasize that word, primarily, because the penalty for not having insurance would be eliminated. A lot of people that are signed up for insurance are signed up because there's a mandate. If you don't sign up for Obamacare, you pay a penalty.
Right.
A lot of those people don't want to pay it, so they're going to dump it. So, of course, the number is going to go down.
It will go down, but the other side of that, unfortunately, Julie, is like, for instance, in 2015, you had 6.5 million people who paid the penalty.
Right.
The year before that, 8 million people paid the penalty. Why did it go down? Because the penalty got higher. This gets to the cruel fact of the matter is that the mandate in of itself said to people, if you can't afford insurance, I'm going to penalize you for it. If you're on the fringes, I'm going to penalize you for it. That was one of the major mistakes in the first place. Now, here's the dilemma for the Republicans. Since they've accepted that big government must be involved in this, and they don't have faith in free markets, they've got to deal with this juggling act. And this juggling act takes you to 49 million people by 2026, according to the CBO, without insurance. Some will have it because they can't afford it. Some will have it because they had Medicaid and they rolled off. Whatever the reason is, and this is the central problem here. When the ACA said to these states, hey, we'll pay Medicaid expansion 100%, a lot of these states, so-called red states, said we'll do it. They were warned not to do it. They were warned it was a trap. And now they find themselves in a tough predicament where they need that federal money and they don't trust anything else.
This Senate bill basically finds, according to the CBO, that 22 million people could lose insurance over the next decade. The question is, does that paint the full picture? Because let's just talk about Medicaid spending.
Right.
That is something, again, that you don't see wildly being reported. Today, it's $393 billion, as you know. Under the Senate GOP plan, it rises to $464 billion. But under Obamacare, it skyrockets to $624 billion. So then the question is, why are Democrats emphasizing so much on Medicaid cuts?
Well, that's the word they use, to your earlier point, to scare people, to make portray a negative picture of this. There's no doubt that it will increase. It's going to increase $70 billion, which is about a 2% annual inflation from 2016 to 2026.
Right.
And so it keeps up with inflation. But again, if you're one of these governors that you say, hey, you've got this giant chunk of money that's promised to you right now, or you could take less. This is again, you get back to the central issue. This is where we are between conservative values and conservative principles and the idea that big government should fund and pay for all of this. And it's tough.